I'm not trying to make you feel any worse than you already feel. But honestly, they're dead because you picked up a gun. Whether you knew it was loaded or not, you picked it up, you pointed at him.
This isn't just a routine probation hearing. This case involves the death of a young man. Now the big question before the court is simple but powerful. If someone follows every rule of probation perfectly, should they be allowed to end it early, or should the seriousness of the loss mean they must serve the full term?
Defense has filed a motion for early termination. State, have you had a chance to review the defense's motion?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. State, are you in objection to the motion?
Yes, Your Honor. We do object to it.
All right. Defense, do you have any witnesses?
We may have Ms. Genevieve Castillo. Her father is here in court.
If you want to call witnesses, you can choose to call witnesses.
Well, Judge, at this particular point, I would just move forward with the evidence that I believe that we have per the report from the probation officer, and then just go that route. If the court deems it necessary for us to have witnesses, because basically we will say what the witnesses likely will say, maybe.
All right. Does your client want to say anything?
I'm sure at some point she might want to say something, Judge. I'm assuming you would like to hear from her in situations.
Well, I'm here to listen to whatever evidence anyone wants to present.
Exactly. So, do you want us to start now?
Yes.
Judge, thank you so much for granting us this opportunity to come before the court today to hear our motion. As the court may recall, this trial, it was a very intense trial.
I recall the facts.
I know you recall the
Mine's
facts.
a steel trap. I can tell you the entire case.
I know. And Judge, you and I, we've talked, not in terms of this case, but I know sometimes you think I talked a little more than maybe is necessary.
No, I do not. But it's okay if people want to be Charles Dickens and get paid by the word. I'm fine with that.
So I don't want to do that.
No, you can. I'm serious.
Okay. All right. So as the court recalls, again, this, is a very intense trial. And I'll just basically, I know you know the facts, but just, to talk about the facts again on behalf of Ms. Castillo. This was an
playing with guns.
Well, Judge, let me say it. They had been together the entire day, not playing with guns, going to the store, doing just different types of things. Her boyfriend was playing with the gun. And in fact, a few days earlier, I think he had played with the gun. Had nothing to do with Ms. Castillo. On the day of this event, the boyfriend had a gun in his hand. Ms. Castillo was attempting to leave. They wanted to go. They were planning on going out. He took the gun and he was playing with the gun that had a beam of light on it, and he was pointing it at her. His cousin comes into the room, says to Ms. Castillo, "You're going to let him do you like that?" Takes a clip out of his gun. His cousin's 18 years old, takes a clip out of his gun, hands it to the evidence is either he hands it to Ms. Castillo.
Here's where the case becomes really complicated. The defense argues the gun's magazine was removed, which made her believe the gun wasn't loaded. But legally speaking, there's a fundamental rule of gun safety. Never point a gun at someone unless you're prepared for it to fire. So what do you think? If someone believes the gun is empty but still points it at someone, can that truly be called an accident?
Or he throws it on the bed. There was some contradiction as to how that happened. But at some point, Ms. Castillo gets the gun, the clip is out of the gun. She thinks the gun was unloaded. Next thing you know, her boyfriend is shot.
All right. So let me just say this. The way I remember the trial is that she was coming out of the shower. She was in a towel. The boyfriend had a gun. His mother had bought him as a Christmas present laser pointers that had the Christmas colors. He pointed his gun at her. It had a green laser on it. His brother tells her, "Hey, are you going to let him do that to you?" And she picks up a gun off the dresser. That's the way I remember the facts. There is nothing about a clip being taken out of the gun. She sees a clip out of the gun. That's the way I remember the trial.
Okay, Judge, and I respectfully want to correct you with that, and I'm pretty sure of that. The argument was that the clip was taken out of the gun. Even in closing argument, I argued that as one of the points as to why it is she did not believe that the gun could fire, because she did not believe that there were actually bullets in the gun because the clip was out of the gun. I probably spent 5 to 10 minutes arguing that point alone. So the clip was out of the gun, which is what we presented as the evidence in the case. And even after the trial, when talking to the jury, a lot of them understood that they believed that the clip was out of the gun. So that wasn't what the case hinged upon, but we did present evidence at the time that the clip was out of the gun. And Your Honor, you are correct that she was coming out of the shower. She did have a towel on because she was planning on leaving. They were planning on going out, but the boyfriend, again, was playing with the gun. So this is a totally different gun. I understand that the state tried to put on evidence, or they put on some evidence, I believe, that the gun had been on the dresser at some point because and you called him the brother, I think he was a cousin, he was stating that he never brought the gun into the room. But we put on evidence that he did, in fact, bring the gun into the room. Talking to the jury after trial, they believe that too. Now, obviously, the jury found her guilty. We understand that. I did talk with the jury after the trial. The jury placed her on probation, did not sentence her to prison. And the overall thing of it for them was that obviously, if you have a gun, you shouldn't play with a gun. That's just, and we all understand that. She understands that here today. Nobody's fighting that particular point that you should not play with a gun. But it's important for us to state that the person who was shot and killed, unfortunately, was pointing a gun at her and had been pointing a gun at her. And it wasn't until the cousin introduced his gun and gave it to her or presented it to her, put it there in front of her and told her, are you gonna let him do you like that? And she picked up the gun. There's no doubt whatsoever that she intentionally took the gun in her hand. So we're not trying to say that somehow the gun fell into her hand and she had, nothing else to do but to pick it up and shoot her boyfriend. She was not attempting to shoot him. In fact, after he was shot, she immediately rushed over to help him. She did everything she possibly could do to try to save his life. She was hysterical.